Hi, I'm Barry from Podhome, and here we are in Podhome. Today I want to talk about analytics, what it is, what it means, and how you can look at it. So here in the dashboard, you can see that I have one of my shows selected, Developer Weekly. I have some other shows as well. And here you can already see some rudimentary analytics. But in the analytics page, I can see some more. I can see all-time downloads, downloads for the last 30 days and the last week. Now this show is a show that is actually done. I don't create new episodes for it anymore, but it is still hosted and I recently imported it into Podhome. Unfortunately, when you do that, you cannot import all of your analytics data from your previous host. So the all-time downloads is from the point where I imported this into Podhome. Now, what else can we see? We can filter this data on timescales, for instance, and also per episode. So I can see per episode how it does per timescale and also all episodes. And a neat thing here is that you can also see when people listen, as in the time of day. So here I can, for instance, see that at 10 a.m. I get the most downloads on average-ish. That just tells you when people are listening. So for instance, during their commute or when they are starting the day or maybe at the end of the day, which is interesting. You can also see top podcast players and websites. So the apps that people use to listen to your show, which can be very interesting. So here I can see Apple Podcasts is a big one. Fountain is also a big one, which is great. Pocket Cast, Safari, Overcast, Podbean, Stitcher, Podhome, and you name it. And I can also then see on what type of devices that people listen. Is that a computer or mobile? Sometimes an Alexa device shows up, which is neat. And then finally, you can also see where people listen, which is a fun thing to see. In this case, it is mostly United States, also in the Netherlands, Germany, United Kingdom, Australia, Saudi Arabia, Canada, and so on. And you can zoom in on those things to just see a little bit more, which is a neat little map. Now, what can you do with this? Well, this shows downloads. And a download is when somebody with a podcast player app like Fountain or Apple Podcasts on iOS downloads your MP3 file, and that's it. You don't know if they actually listen to the MP3 file. All we register is the download of the MP3 file. That is a very unfortunate thing, but that's just how it works. That's all the data that we have. Closed systems like Spotify and YouTube have lots more data because they know when people actually press the play and pause button, so they can tell you that. But we want to see an overview of all of the apps and all the users that you have, which is this dashboard right here. Now again, what can you do with all of these downloads if they do not translate directly into listens? Well, that's not a bad thing per se, because we keep this very accurate according to the IAB tech guidelines to deduplicate things and to make sure that these things are actual downloads, not bots. And we do some other things to make sure that this data is as accurate as possible. But this data can serve as a motivator for you and a gauge to see how your podcast is actually doing. Are more people downloading your items or less? Is there an upgoing trend? Or is interest waning, for instance, with a show that is completed? In any case, don't worry too much about these numbers and just keep on pushing out content. People will appreciate it.